Today's episode of Tune Into Wellness Today was brought to you by Mary Lentini, a licensed real estate salesperson with Realty USA. Hello and welcome to Tune Into Wellness Today. My name is LisaMarie and I am the host of today's show. Today is our 40th episode. I'm so excited to share that with you. 2.5 years we've been introducing to you, the community of the Capital District and surrounding area, a whole host of natural wellness practitioners, products, services, and modalities. And today I'm excited to tell you I have 2 more practitioners that will be speaking to us about what it is they are offering. The first guest will be speaking about the holistic package and what that is, and my second guest will be speaking about IFS, internal family systems, and I'll be speaking about self-sabotage and how to stop doing that and live a happy and healthy life. So stay tuned to Tune Into Wellness Today. Welcome, Melissa. How are you?
Good. Thank you for having me.
It's so wonderful to have you here. Melissa Carter is our first guest. She is a Reiki practitioner, an author, and a full-time fundraiser and marketing representative. She has authored a new children's book. Melissa, tell us, what is the name of that book?
Sure. The book is called Little Lucky Ladybug, and it's for ages 3 to 7, pre-K through 2nd. And I've always loved writing. It's always been a hobby of mine. I started with poetry. And for the past, it took me about 4 or 5 years to put this book together, just creatively working with an illustrator, going through the whole process. But it really came together, and it went live on Amazon in August of 2015. It's on Barnes & Noble's website. And I'm doing self-publishing through CreateSpace, which is a fantastic company. And the message of the book is that we're all special and unique in our own way. And to me, it's really important to instill that message into children at a young age. My whole business is about being positive and empowering other people. And my mission is to spread that positivity and inspire others. And with children, I believe it is really important to instill that at a young age and to not only learn to love yourself for who you are, but to also treat people in the same manner.
I think that's beautiful. And thank you so much for writing that book. Does it touch on different cultures and aspects of how special we are and accepting cultures and religions?
The book is universal. It really is. It could touch on each culture. You know, I think it's a universal message.
Yes.
And again, going back to the importance of believing in yourself. And the main character is a ladybug, and she approaches different creatures. And they, as the thought goes that ladybugs are very lucky, they each think she's lucky, and she makes them realize that they each have something special that only they can do. And at the end, they all come together and as a group. The book also has activity pages because I wanted it to not only be a literacy tool, but to teach children about other aspects of learning. So it has a maze, coloring, connect the dots, and a part where they can write down what their favorite part of the story is. And it's actually, I worked with PACER's organization. It's a national anti-bullying organization. One of my goals with this book is to work more with anti-bullying initiatives, literacy initiatives, as well as targeting parents and other organizations as well. But it really touches on, I think, a universal important message all around and can really apply to several different people and organizations.
I think that's beautiful, and I hope that the parents or grandparents that read that book to their children also pick up that message as a reminder.
Thank you.
Right?
Thank you. And I just did a local school fundraiser, so I paired with a local school, and part of the proceeds are being donated to the school so that they can buy some school supplies and things for the classrooms. So I'm looking forward to working with more.
So wonderful. You have an organization called the Holistic Package,
Yes.
and that focuses on people's wellness holistically, both personally and professionally.
Yes.
What are the services and products that you offer under that package?
The Holistic Package started about 2 years ago as just purely Reiki, and I started that as being a Reiki practitioner. I was doing the writing, and I had a separate entity doing that. And at one point, I spoke with someone, and they said, well, why don't you incorporate everything under one? Because I was really diving into different areas. Each service I provide, being the Reiki practitioner, and that has to do with our mind, body, and spirit wellness. The book, really inspiring and promoting a positive message. I'm also working on writing some other projects insofar as inspirational books and a business tip book for aspiring entrepreneurs or people in business. The third part is mentoring. I have been working with some local organizations and working with young women to inspire them as they decide on what career path they want to take. And I am providing mentoring services to young professionals on a one-on-one basis, as well as group settings, and also virtually. I offer online information sessions for the mentoring, for professional advice, and also the Reiki. And the fourth piece is inspirational apparel. I found that I'm very inspired by shirts and things that I see, products. And I have specific quotes that I like to use in my business, and I find them very empowering.
Give me a quote.
Success is not universal. Success is defined by you. So I feel like I use that a lot because I feel that success is defined by each person. It really has a different meaning, whether you are working to inspire other people or building a business. You know, it really has a personal message for each person. So I found that they're very empowering. So, and I really feel that even with that and someone wearing a t-shirt really helps. It all starts within yourself, and it's all about mental motivation, and it really starts within you. And from there, it really, I feel like, inspires people to want to better their lives, whether it be physically, mentally, emotionally, or spiritually. And all of the things that I offer are very different, but they tie in that way, that being personal or professional services or products that contribute to not only wellness, but I also say wholeness, because I feel as a person, if we're whole, we are happy and content and joyful within ourselves in all of those aspects, emotionally and spiritually and mentally and physically. So I try to provide things that will help people get to that goal.
That's really wonderful. And did you say that you could purchase this particular book or find out about, this particular book on Amazon.com?
Yes, it's on Amazon. It's on Barnes and Nobles. It's Little Lucky Ladybug. You can also go to my website, holisticpackage.com.
Great.
And it's also on CreateSpace. And I love working with the local community. So I'm currently doing consignment with the Open Door Bookstore here in downtown Schenectady and a couple other gift shops in Albany.
Great. Melissa, give me just 2 benefits that people have received by working with you and under the holistic package.
Sure. I think, again, there's the 4 different pieces, but with Reiki, I've worked with people going through different physical and emotional conditions, as well as people who just are looking for something to get them back to their center. And I do a lot of work with the Cancer Society, and I've also worked with people going through treatment. And also people that have just told me they want to reduce the negativity in their lives. So So stress reduction is one of the benefits that you've been, okay. Yes, and also I think empowerment.
I was just going to say empowerment,
yes.
and the t-shirts, motivational messages. Thank you so much for what you do.
Thank you.
Beautiful.
Thank you for having me.
So glad that you are here.
Thank you.
If you would like more information about Melissa Carter and the work she does, go online to theholisticpackage.com. I certainly do hope you enjoyed Melissa Carter. I certainly did. My second guest today is Dr. Donald Paine from Paracolane Counseling. Donald is a certified marriage and family practitioner, therapist. He is also a licensed social worker. He is a fellow of the AAPC, which is Pastoral Counseling, and he is trained in 3 levels of IFS, which is Internal Family Systems, which is now an evidence-based system. Welcome, Donald.
Thank you for having me. At least a part is glad that I'm here. Another part says, what are you doing?
Welcome. It's so good to have you here.
It is good to be here.
And that's a great intro, because we are going to speak today about IFS and what that means, and all the varying parts that we have. And it's my understanding that IFS is based on 2 main truths. So would you please speak to what those truths are and what each of those means?
The fundamental truths are that everybody has a multiplicity of parts inside their mind, heart, soul, and those parts can often cause fragmentation and fracturing in relationships. And so understanding those parts, getting to hear them, their story, can actually result in healing and a feeling of balance and harmony internally. And the second truth is that inside of everybody is a self, a courageous, calm, caring, compassionate place that can do the work that normally is considered the work of the therapist. So the therapist's job is to help a person to get in touch with their internal self and let that self hear and care for all the parts that might be fragmented or traumatized in one way or another. The end result is that the entire system lives in balance and harmony and feels well.
It's beautiful. So if I'm understanding this correctly, because we all have multiple parts, sometimes we focus on a negative part that's within us, and we might define ourselves by that negative part.
Absolutely.
And what you are saying is that we have multiple parts and we're not one, right? So
well, we are one, but
one
we're one with multiplicity of parts.
With multiplicity of parts, right? So I guess where I was going with that is, and not to simplify it, but to my understanding is, if I were to go around saying, oh, I am dumb, I'm calling myself dumb, as in, that really wouldn't be the truism of all of who I am.
No, I would say that that's a part of you that feels dumb, and I would say, I wonder where that part got the idea that you were dumb. So it's actually very inviting, instead of restraining, which would be me saying, well, just stop thinking that you're dumb. It's actually releasing the dumb part in a way that listens to the story that lies behind why the part feels dumb.
And not judging that story,
Yes.
hearing it, and why is that there? Where do fragmented parts come from? I mean, is a baby born with fragmented parts, or is he or she hearing something in life that...
Some kind of trauma, some kind of message, inadvertently and often unintentionally presented by somebody in that little child's life, or an experience in the world, or some kind of feeling inside of the person that is somehow triggered by an event. So imagine if you're a 10-year-old and you hear about somebody going into a club and shooting 50 people. What do you do with that?
Right.
It can result in an internal fragmentation if the child wants to talk, but society or maybe even parents say, we don't talk about that. Then it gets exiled, pushed to the side, and the story is never heard.
Right.
And the unheard story becomes a fragmented part. So we're really big into hearing the story. So that's why it's releasing, it's non-pathologizing. We don't necessarily think that people are dumb or crazy. People have parts that might feel dumb or feel crazy. And those parts need to be released of the burden that makes them feel that way.
Right. No judgment on the parts at all. Isn't that beautiful?
No, all parts are welcome is a ongoing theme. And some people really wonder about that. So for instance, if you take the recent happening, the shooter, that shooter had a part that felt like it had to do that. So that even though we would, in one sense, have a part that would judge the shooter as doing some heinous thing, we would also encourage that person to get in touch with this part, which, because he's dead, we can't do.
Right.
But if we could help release him from whatever burden or trauma resulted in him feeling like he had to do that.
He had to do that, right? Excellent.
So, that you have to do something, it's just never true. It is true that a part feels like you have to do something. I mean, on the way today, I watched two cars in my rearview mirror. One car swerved to the right because I had seen a fawn in the road. I mean, just tiny little baby. And the person behind the person that swerved to the right was probably annoyed and thought, what is that guy doing? And so went barreling by into the fawn and killed it.
Oh dear.
So that person is today dealing with a trauma, because the person doesn't have a part that wants to go around killing innocent little animals.
Right, right.
But he or she did.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
How does that person deal with that? Do they bury it, tell nobody that it happened today? That becomes a fragmented part that needs some kind of healing.
Which, if it's not healed, could cause anger, frustration, hurt, a whole
Lots of
host
stuff.
of negative energy, and depending on who that person is and how they process that information.
Absolutely.
So, internal family systems then is, when we hear that, it is a system of parts within each individual person that we all have.
Yeah.
And your type of healing in your practice, a piece of it is working with that piece of healing, each part that needs to have that healing to bring sustainability, health, wholeness to that person.
Balance and harmony. I often use the idea that the solar system has stars and planets, all kinds of parts to the solar system. And at the center of our solar system is the sun, radiating warmth and energy. And so in a similar way, inside of every person, there's a self that radiates that kind of positive energy and that brings warmth and light and peace to all the planets in the system. But if one planet decides to get out of line, it would traumatize every other part of the solar system. In fact, it could end up the end of the solar system. People are kind of like that.
Right.
And they
Great
don't
analogy.
understand why they did what they did. So Richard Swartz, who's the founder, wrote a book about couple therapy. And the title of the book is You Are the One You've Been Waiting For. Which sounds crazy to be a book for couples. But so often couples get into thinking that the problem is the other person and some kind of trauma in the other person, rather than thinking about what kind of trauma am I bringing into the relationship? What do I need to get to a more balanced and harmonious place so that I can have a healthier, well relationship?
Wonderful. Wonderful. So this IFS expands beyond the individual, and it obviously can be done in couples counseling, maybe in group counseling. It's a message for,
World
wonderful.
peace. It's a message for world peace.
I love it, Don. Thank you so much for doing the work you do. You do so much. I greatly appreciate it.
Thank you.
If you would like to hear more about Dr. Donald Paine, and the work that he does, go online to paracolane.org. I certainly do hope you enjoyed Dr. Donald Paine and received a special message from him. And I do encourage you to reach out to him if you're struggling with any of the parts within yourself. Today I'm speaking about self-sabotage, which somewhat ties into what Dr. Paine was speaking about. Self-sabotage, sometimes we are our own worst enemy. And what I mean by that is sometimes we sabotage our own self-interests. So for example, if there is something that you love to do, play tennis, play basketball, knit, go swimming, read a book, something that you just love to do, but you deny yourself that pleasure, you're sabotaging something that you love to do. You're causing self-sabotage. What is that? What is the cause of self-sabotage? It's the critical voice that we have, that critical inner voice that all of us have until we heal from that critical inner voice. Where does that critical inner voice come from? Sometimes and oftentimes somewhere in our developmental stage, from our caregivers or our parents as a possibility. Not always, but that is often a source of our self-critical voice. And as you heard when Dr. Paine spoke, sometimes it's totally unintentional messages our parents or caregivers had given to us at a point in time in our developmental stage. So how is it that you can heal from self-sabotage? Well, what you can do is differentiate yourself from that critical inner voice. You can detach yourself from that and look at yourself wholly, outside of that voice, and see who you really are. You can stop with the adaptations. I mean, somewhere along the way you adapted to that critical inner voice, or you grew a defense mechanism. You became very defensive about certain things. If you step outside of those adaptations and those defenses, you no longer have to live in that critical voice. Another way to do this is to separate yourself from any of the parental or caregivers' opinions and attitudes that you took on as your own. Those are not yours. Those belong to someone else. So separate yourself from those. Also, identify your own ideals and belief systems and your own desires. Identify who you are separate from anyone else. When you start to do that and start applying some of those tools we just spoke about, you will start to feel much better about yourself, and you will eventually be able to overcome that critical voice that's inside of you and be able to feel more of who you are, be able to be who you are, your individual beautiful self. So I encourage you to apply several of those tips, to hear Don Paine's message as well as my message, and as well as Melissa Carter's messages about loving ourselves and being our own unique, beautiful selves. If you need help in any one of these areas, if you really need help to overcome that critical voice that you have, I encourage you to reach out to me, LisaMarie, 518-292-8767. Allow me to help you, help yourself be happy, healthy, and well. And this is just a reminder that Inspiring Wellness Solutions, the company that I own and operate, is a family wellness center located in the town of Clifton Park in Round Lake, New York. We are a full natural wellness practice. We offer a myriad of services. I encourage you to go online to inspiringwellnesssolutions.com to learn about those services, to learn about me. Check out the testimonials, and then give me a call for a 30-minute complimentary consultation to see how I might be able to help you. My goal is to help you be happy, healthy, and well. Today we celebrate our 40th episode of Tune Into Wellness Today. I'm glad that you've been following us. I do encourage you always to reach out to me or any of the practitioners on this show. Thank you for being a great audience. Until next time, be happy, be healthy, and rise above the challenges that you have. Thank you.